Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Folks, we are witnessing another massive red pill. And like I've been saying essentially since Joe Biden took office, we are in red pill season. And the one place that's a little bit surprising where it's actually happening is of course Hollywood. Think about all the Hollywood celebrities' red pills that we have covered over the last couple of months. From Cardi B to Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, some NBA athletes including Enes Kanter. People are seemingly finally waking up. And this time we have a very surprising little red pill moment. Now, of course, it's not a very deep red pill moment, but at least it's honest. We're talking specifically about far-left Deborah Messing, who isn't getting red-pilled and shifting away from her far-left views, but rather is calling out the absolutely corrupt, disingenuous, lying media, to most importantly, her millions upon millions of followers. The left-wing media has gotten so extreme, so ridiculous, they've crossed the line to such an extent that even far-left, nearly communist, Marxist actress Deborah Messing is saying, whoa, you guys are going a little bit too far on this one, specifically referring to MSNBC, CNN, and other outlets who have been covering this Waukesha massacre, a mass casualty event, as some sort of crash or accident. So that's exactly what we got to get into. This is the perfect video, the perfect sequel to make right after the Destiny Kyle Rittenhouse video I made a couple days ago, as even far lefties are realizing how deep left-wing propaganda goes. We've got a lot to get into, but of course before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so just take a look at this headline right over here. Far-left actress Deborah Messing bucks the party narrative on lethal Waukesha parade attack. A Hollywood actress known for her far-left reactionary takes appeared to side with many on the right over the lethal car attack on a Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin. 6 lost their lives and 62 were seriously injured when a red SUV plowed through the festivities at the Christmas parade on Sunday. Police arrested Darrell Brooks Jr. for the attack. Brooks left a large social media presence that has led many to conclude that he might have had racist, anti-white motivations for the attack. Others have cautioned against jumping to conclusions so early in the official investigation. Authorities have not as yet announced anything conclusive about possible motive in the attack. And one of the few on the left who is demanding that the media frame the horrific incident as a domestic terror attack is Deborah Messing, who tweeted this: "Dear mainstream media, a man intentionally drove his car through a parade, ending 6 and injuring 50 plus. It was not an accident. Call it by its name, #Waukesha Massacre, and it was a domestic terror attack. Don't minimize it, please." And the responses to her tweet really put things into perspective. Here's one Twitter user that says, "The fact-based media isn't going to use loaded language to describe the incident until there is reason to do so. That reason will likely come when the prosecutors begin using terms like attack, but right now, the driver is only a suspect who is allowed to have his day in court. That may not feel satisfying to those of us who are horrified at what happened, but the fact-based news organizations are responsible for not poisoning the well by using loaded language like attack prematurely." And I mean, okay, the level of delusion in this tweet is absolutely unbelievable. The fact-based media will not jump to conclusions is one of the most ridiculous defenses I have ever heard of the news media, especially after everything we've seen with the coverage on January 6th and Kyle Rittenhouse as well as many other cases, and the Covington kids scandal jumps to mind almost immediately. But here you can just see how deep the rabbit hole goes. One individual even says this: "Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't labeled a murderer, and this suspect is innocent until proven guilty in our judicial system." Kyle Rittenhouse wasn't labeled a murderer? Excuse me.
Kyle Rittenhouse, he murdered 2 people, by the way.
He was going out to shoot people, picked up a rifle, drove to a different state to shoot people.
He murdered a couple of people.
Shooting and killing protesters.
Even all the excuses in the world does not change the fact that 3 people got shot.
Yeah.
2 people were murdered.
Yeah.
To me, it's murder. I'm sorry.
They literally called him a white supremacist murder, mass shooter for over a year. These people have completely lost their minds. And speaking of losing your minds, do you people not have eyeballs? The first time I covered this event, and the way CNN was trying to cover it up as the man was just fleeing from another domestic incident, just look at the video. He could have literally driven on any other street, but instead he chose to drive on the one street where a Christmas event was happening. And he doesn't just drive trying to escape and maybe go around people, get on the sidewalk. He drives directly plowing through the entire crowd, not stopping. An accident would imply that he didn't have intent to do it, and that he might hit a couple people accidentally and then stop. He doesn't stop, he continues to go, not waiting for people to get out the way, but rather going over them, one after another and one after another. That is intentional, and these absolute twits on the left-wing side are siding with the corrupt media that's reporting this as an accident. I mean, just take a look at this from NBC, or rather from MSNBC, pretty much the same thing. And my apologies for the poor quality of the video.
One thing I do worry about, actually two things, Stephanie, is one is the idea of contagion. Whether it has anything to do with this accident last night and the killing of these people.
You know, the individual from earlier saying it's the fact-based media that doesn't want to jump to conclusions. Well, they're literally jumping to a conclusion by calling it an accident. They could call it a mass casualty event, but they are implying that it wasn't intentional reckless homicide. They're implying that it was just an accident. It might have been manslaughter, who knows? And just take a look at the way they're framing it. Video captured by a Ring camera appears to show Daryl Edwards Brooks in front of a home before being arrested in connection to the Waukesha parade, quote, accident. Waukesha Deadly Christmas Parade crash update. It was an accident. It was just a crash. And like I stated earlier, a crash is when a vehicle accidentally collides with an object in front of it and stops. That is objectively not what happened. It's once again the same thing that we saw with Kyle Rittenhouse. We're using our eyes, paying attention, and looking at this stuff objectively. We saw Joseph Rosenbaum chase Kyle Rittenhouse, and so immediately we knew the facts of the case. It seems as though all of these lefties in the media either don't watch the video footage or purposely distort the facts based on some sort of social justice, racial, or Democrat political motive. I just once again ask the question, if he was white, what do you think would be said? If this individual was a white man who was somehow connected to Trumpism, they would be reporting all kinds of salacious information. Oh, he was driving a truck with a Trump flag on it. He was wearing a cap with a Confederate flag. And our anonymous sources on the scene claim that he yelled, "This is MAGA country," before putting pedal to the metal. You know that's how they would report it. Meanwhile, we have this individual who's captured on video clearly intentionally going into a crowd, who was previously charged with, once again, using a vehicle as a weapon, I believe against his ex-wife or his former partner. We have reporting that Waukesha suspect and wannabe rapper Daryl Brooks reportedly called for violence against white people. The suspect previously threatened to blow up a Nevada casino, and he is an avid supporter of Black Lives Matter and black nationalism based on his Facebook posts. We have this as fact. Have you seen a single left-wing network or mainstream network report on any of those facts? They omit all of the facts, all of the context, all of the information that has been uncovered in this case, and are essentially acting as an extension of his defense team, trying to push this ridiculous narrative that he was running away from a domestic dispute and just accidentally ran over nearly 70 people. I mean, really, to put things into perspective, this is the man that left-wing media is trying to defend. Another individual lost in Waukesha massacre, identified as 8-year-old Jackson Sparks. Children, folks. Children with their entire lives ahead of them. In fact, one family, a woman was there with 4 of her children. All of them have been gravely injured. We're talking about children and their parents. And the left-wing media would rather play politics, would rather hide the facts, and would rather side with this criminal, and not criminal, this terrorist, as opposed to the children. They talk a whole lot, blah, blah, blah.
Build back better, blah, blah, blah.
About the children at the southern border, etc., constantly using children as political tools. But what about these children? What about the children who lose their lives in inner city Chicago? Democrats don't care about the children unless they serve as a tool for political ends. It's absolutely disgusting, and as much as I disagree with Deborah Messing and her unhinged Twitter history, I am absolutely standing alongside her in this specific case. That's what I got for you guys though. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share it as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm. I gotta get back to work though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.